Let's get from one floor to another. So right now we just have floors, then there's no way really to get from level 1 to level 2 because we don't have stairs yet. So within Revit you have a actual built-in stair. You have a whole circulation tab that will let you do these kind of things. So if you click stair, it goes into this kind of like editing mode. So just like we did before with the ceilings, you want to look over here on the left at what it is that we have. So a stair is just like the walls and the ceilings and stuff. It's a system family, it's not a component. So you'll be choosing a type and then adjusting the settings on it, and then you need to sketch something for Revit to know where you want to put it, and it will create it based off of all those parameters, and then you can actually modify it. So it's not like once you're done, it's done. So I'm just going to leave this one 7-inch max riser, 11-inch tread. So by default with our settings, that's what's in here. The next thing that you always want to check is what is your base level and what's your top level, because with those two things you can get how far this stair needs to go, and that's really important because that will dictate how many risers you need and how many treads you're going to need, and Revit will actually draw those for you. If you go into edit type, and let's say we wanted to make a different one, let me just show you, like duplicate, and like you can make a custom one. So we can call this one like custom stair 01. And then here you can put in your maximum riser height, your maximum tread depth, and how wide these stairs need to be. And you can also go in here and edit the rules that it uses to calculate these. So by default it's turned off, but if you wanted to, so if you've ever done stairs in CAD, you know these kind of equations, because you got to figure out, okay, how far do I need to go, how high is this going to go, what's my differences. So Revit will do all that for you. You can go in here and start modifying like the equation. So do you want, traditionally you do 2 times the rise plus 1 because you have the landing. Will tell you like how many you need, and then the depth tells you how far these are, and that tells you how long your stair will be. But Revit can calculate all this stuff for you. So let's say you look at the code for whatever you're building, and they tell you you can't have 7-inch rise, you can only have 6-inch rise. You could come in here and tell Revit my maximum allowable rise is this. So it's not going to make every riser 7 inches, but it's never going to make one that's higher than that, so that you're still meeting the code. And then these other guys are really important, because here's where you choose. In some of these settings you can choose them and they'll update the model. Other ones you'll see you can only get them in the model from the beginning. So if you didn't have the setting checked when you started drawing, it's not going to just update. So that's 2 main kind of things that you'll see happen within these models. So for now I'm going to leave everything exactly as it is. I'm not going to change anything, but just based off of the standard 7 and 11, and you do ground to level 1, it's telling me I'm going to need 28 risers. Oops, I clicked. Try to move this over so that we can see. So the desired number of risers and then actual number of risers, and then here's the actual tread depth, tread riser start number. So if you were like splitting the stairs and you wanted 2 separate kind of areas, you could do this, where you could start a stair over here and then you're here at like a mezzanine level, and somewhere else you could have an unrelated stair that needs to start. So then that's kind of where you would adjust that. I'm going to start off just by drawing a straight line, and if you notice there was 2 types of stair that we could make. Let me get out of this mode. When you go to stair, you have where my thing go? I don't know. Anyway, let's just start with this. So I'm gonna just click, and I'm gonna draw my first stair just out in space so you guys can kind of see what it does. I'm gonna click 1 time, and you can see it's showing you a preview of what that stair will be. And as I move my mouse back and forth, it's gonna add more treads or take them back. And then once you've gone past what Revit has calculated it needs and you click, it will create the stair. And I guess I can't see it here for some reason. You can accept. So let's see where it went. Just go to a default 3D view. Turn off my section box. There it is. So what it's created is this. So just by looking at it, we've got, you can see it has all the treads, all the risers, the stringer, which is this guy on the outside, which is what your treads actually span across to, and then the railing. And you can select the railing separately. And then if you look, we have this whole thing is set to that. If we change it now, it changed that piece, but not these yet. So like we can grab those, and it says rectangular railing. You can change that to like pipe railing. You can grab that. And there's different types that you can switch it to. So I have multiple things selected. And I think you can do them individually. Glass panel, bottom, fill. So, and we can grab the bottom again and make that a precast stair. So you can kind of modify those that way. If it's pretty rare that you'll ever have this, and by code you can't actually do this kind of stair where it just goes straight, and if you trip there, you'll die by the time you get down to the bottom. So you have to have landings that break up your rise. So I'm going to delete this guy, and then okay, I'm going to go back to that floor plan here. So let's place one and try and fit it within the welcome center, which probably, depending how big this is, we should be able to. So I'm going to go back here to circulation stair, and then I'm going to start. So here you have some settings that you can change. So you can make it so that this line that we trace is the exterior support on the left side, the run on the left side, the run on the center, run on the right, or the exterior support on the right side. You could offset it. So let's say you wanted your stair to run like 1 foot off the wall. You can put that in already, and then all you have to do is trace the wall, and it will automatically offset it 1 foot from there. And then the width is here. If you click this automatic landing, it's going to add in the landings for you as it sees, but you have to click in order for Revit to know what to do. So let's start with this just like that, just the same way. Or let's do exterior support on the left. So I should be able to click here and go that way. And let's say I get to about here and I decide I want to click once. Revit will hold and wait until I click again to restart the stair. So if I click here now and move this way, it will keep counting that way. And see, it says 9 created, 8 created, 12 remaining. I can click here, and then I can go here and align there and start clicking this way until I get to the end. It says 3, 2, 1 remaining there. Boom. And then I can click there and see it's made them, and it tells you how many risers you have in each one. If you're happy with that, you can just hit accept. Notice you also here have run. You can adjust the landing, and you can adjust the supports. You also have, if you come over here, this railing. So you can adjust just the railings, and we can always come back to this. So let me just accept this, and it's giving us, it says the rail is not continuous, breaks in the rail usually occur. So this is just telling us that it had to break that. And by code you'd get in trouble, but that's just something that the model is doing. So if we zoom in there, you can see something weird's going on there.
So the minimum width is 14